because we tried to do this on y'all platform, and y'all platform is on some bullshit. Okay, so we as of this moment, we're officially done with Riverside FM. We're gonna go in a completely different route, but until we can get that figured out, Zoom. We appreciate y'all, baby. We do appreciate
Zoom, zoom, zoom.
everybody likes Zoom. What's going on, y'all? Thank y'all for tuning in and welcome back to another episode of Two Peas in a Pod with Tim and Ryan. As always, I'm Tim. That's my dog, my brother, my player partner, co-creator. I'm not gonna say co-conspirator because that's it might fuck around and get us in a little bit of trouble. That's my brother, my dog, Ryan, aka Frank Dank. How you doing tonight, bro?
I'm well, my brother. I can't complain. It's good to be back with you.
Yes, sir.
Back in the
Yes, sir.
saddle, doing things. Not gonna lie, the work schedule. We'll talk later about that, but the work schedule is gonna be a lot more consistent from this point moving on. So we'll be able to drop more content and annoy you motherfuckers like we used to.
Yeah, coming at y'all with more crazy ass, crazy wild ass takes. And before we get off into anything, Riverside FM, y'all owe us some fucking money because we tried to do this on y'all platform, and y'all platform is on some bullshit. Okay, so we as of this moment, we're officially done with Riverside FM. We're gonna go in a completely different route, but until we can get that figured out, Zoom. We appreciate y'all, baby. We do appreciate
Zoom,
y'all.
zoom, zoom.
Everybody likes Zoom. But had a lot of crazy events go on recently, man, in the college spring transfer portal. Our beloved Sooners did get one of the top, running back transfers in, the spring transfer portal. And Jaden,
Nice.
welcome to Sooner Nation, my boy.
Boomer Sooner, brother. I hope you have an offensive line with you because if you do, you're gonna do great things, and I feel like you are. I have trust in Bill and company, so we'll be fine. Just got to see how it goes. The Sex we're not gonna get a spring game. I think it's probably the first time in over 20, probably 40 some years. OU hasn't had a spring
Can
game,
we get one
so
with COVID?
yeah, no,
Okay, that's what that was.
no.
So pretty much first time in what, like 4 or 5 years. But that was a different story. We was kind of forced not to get a spring game.
Everybody was trying not to die. Yeah, it is.
More or less. So that was pretty much the situation. But in bigger transfer news, we got to talk about the Nico Iamaleava situation.
This
So
motherfucker.
I know, right? That's why we talking
But
about it.
my pops called that shit. He from Cali, UCLA ain't got no quarterback. I'm like, okay, who the fuck is he throwing to?
And, well, they did recruit his brother at one. I think his brother was committed to them at one point
They
before he
they
decided
they,
to flip.
they recruited to his brother too
That's
at
fair.
Alabama. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, you got to, let's be honest, bro. UCLA is pretty fucking desperate. They have been desperate for quite some time.
I I I mean they haven't been really worth talking about since with Turner Yale, homie that went to the Browns. He's still with the Browns.
No, no.
Oh, I mean, a lot of reasons why NFL players' careers don't work out is because a lot of players don't get drafted in good situations.
Say it again. Say it again for the people in the back, bro. Say
A,
this shit again for
a,
the
a,
people in
a
the back.
lot of reasons why a lot of NFL players' careers don't work out is because they don't get drafted in good situations. Like if you get drafted by who's a dumpster fire right now, like the Giants or the Jets or the Titans or even like Jacksonville, Carolina, just stay healthy. That's the best thing. Stay healthy and make plays.
And you literally have to be exceptionally well in order to succeed in either one of those
But
franchises. And it's unfortunate.
the before we get started, The number one thing that frustrates me so much when you talk about sports and this, that, and the third and quarterbacks is really the quarterback is only as good as what's around him.
That's true.
So if he does like okay, outside of maybe Joe Burrow and recent memory, Joe Burrow and Shador Sanders are the two quarterbacks I could think of that produced with terrible ass offensive lines, both on the collegiate and NFL level. Now I'm not saying Joe Burrow LSU his offensive line was trashed his junior year, but senior year they got it together. But I'm just saying like you're only as good as your supporting cast around you.
That's what's
So
been
it's
around
like
you. Your coach, not to mention your coaching staff as well, your head coach, your offensive coordinator, and all that good stuff.
for sure, for sure. So you're only as good as the talent you have around you. So putting a lot of blame on the quarterback position, I understand because that's the person that touches the ball the most. I get it.
Right, right, right. But shit, let's jump off into this Nico situation, man.
Go ahead, go ahead.
So Nico decides, he's negotiating NIL money. It also came out that he was threatening to sit out for the college football, the 12-team college football playoff because he's negotiating NIL money. He's sitting out practices. He's not, showing up to, drills and training camp and stuff like that. So Josh Heupel says, you know what? I'm done with this shit. You don't want to practice, you don't want to show up to team meetings or whatever, we're done. We're not dealing with this shit. You can go out and try to, negotiate and get whatever the fuck you want. But we done. About a couple days to a week goes by, Nico ends up signing with UCLA, and I don't think he got the NIL money that he was looking for. Because I think the rumor was he was trying to get what Carson Beck was getting from Miami. I don't really think Carson Beck got a full 10 million from Miami. I really don't. But but that's the rumor. But
it's definitely incentive based.
But Ryan, go ahead and talk about this Nico situation, man. What do you like? What do you make of this whole situation, and what does this mean for Nico? And what does this mean for the NCAA transfer portal and players that want to take this route, in the following years?
Well, first and foremost, I mean, it confirms a lot of people's theories of how NIL is going to kill college sports, and this is prime example number one. I want more money. You don't want to pay me. Fuck you, goodbye. But before I get into the Nico situation, let's go further back around the playoff time. So Nico, I read a couple reports, Nico and a couple players, then I read Nico and the whole team of starters threatened to sit out the playoff game because they wanted more money. And it's like, wow. Okay, so y'all want more money to play in the playoff game that you didn't win, that you pump fake. You look just like fucking USC when they did all that shit before they got their ass whooped by Alabama damn near 10 years ago. So now you want 2 more million for what? I mean, okay, you had a decent year. Um, at Tennessee. But if y'all not running the football, ain't shit happening. So then we fast forward to now. Now y'all, it's just nasty. Okay, you went to UCLA. Name me one player on UCLA.
I can't.
What
I can't.
UCLA was literally the worst team in the Big Ten last year.
You said it, not me.
So top of the bottom.
I'm just saying.
So with that being said, are you like because usually players play to go to the next level, but with the NIL, now everybody's trying to get the most money they can.
Yep.
They ain't give a fuck about the next level. So this may be the first pillar of the end of college sports, collegiate sports as we know it as a whole.
I would agree. So for Nico, it's unfortunate, but I do think that he's probably going to be the example. You set out, you tried to, leverage more money and you didn't get what you asked for. And now, I do think more schools are going to take this route. And, look, let's cut the bullshit. Let's call a spade a spade. Nico really didn't play that well last year. If we're being honest, Tennessee was not very good unless the running game was working. Now, granted, Nico showed flashes, He didn't have a terrible season, but he didn't play all that well. There were a couple games they damn near lost because of him. If we're being totally honest.
And if they couldn't run the football, they wouldn't have won at all.
Exactly. And bro, you're trying to. This is like I said. I'm not taking anything away from Nico. I still think Nico's an outstanding player. He has some growing to do, and he was a freshman this year. But bro, you're trying to put yourself up. You're trying to put what you're getting up against what Carson Beck is getting. And like it or not, Carson Beck at one point, I think he was a Heisman candidate 2 years in a row.
Preseason.
The preseason Heisman candidate. Before he got hurt, he was a Heisman. Before he got hurt, he was a Heisman candidate. Georgia was also undefeated in part because of Carson Beck. So you're putting what you've done up against what he's done. It doesn't equal out. And I mean, I'm happy for you. Did you wasn't totally out of college football this year. You did find a place to play, but you really kind of, you kind of tricked yourself out of a fucking bag because I'm sure you took less. I'm sure he did end up taking less money. So this year, pretty much.
No, I guarantee you he did not.
He probably didn't take. I'm talking about less than what he was asking for.
Okay, homie was getting like 2.1.
2 point, right around 2.
So now he wanted like four. Come on, man. UCLA ain't getting nobody to come there. I mean, most of their top talent that goes to UCLA is from California.
That's fair too.
So but it's like now, from California.
But it's like now when you look at the situation as a whole, it's like, bro, now you didn't play all that well. Now you got to do more. You have to be better than what you were last year on top, and you have to be better than what you were last year with less talent.
If you ask me, if I don't mean to cut you off, I'm sorry.
You good.
But if you ask me, homie don't give a fuck. That's a clear indication he does not give a fuck. I am going to the highest bidder. Like I was talking to my pops last night about where De'Aaron Fox is going. The highest bidder. These young niggas today, the highest bidder. Fuck winning championship, all that shit. I got to cash in on my name now because I don't know what the fuck is going to be tomorrow. And that's fair. That is fair. Fine. That is totally fine. I'm not mad at that mindset. But like this is kind of like killing the integrity of the sport.
Yeah.
How many great players have we seen that sat on the bench for 2 years because they wanted to play at that school and had great careers?
Shit, look at the situation with Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts got benched, sat out for a whole fucking year, and then went somewhere else.
The only reason why and the rule is different. Yeah, that's too strong to be trying to do this right now. The only reason why Jalen Hurts bounced because the rules is different. If you were a graduate, if you graduated, you can transfer and go wherever you wanted.
Yeah.
So Jalen, but also in the same time, Jalen sat on the bench, watched him have success. Tua gets hurt in the SEC championship game. Jalen comes out and it doesn't crumble in the moment. It's not too big for him. None of that shit. He went out there and he did that shit. He accomplished it. So that showed right there that he's a big time player. So then when he transferred, he had all the intentions on making it to the NFL, being a Heisman finalist, probably winning the Heisman. And if Joe Burrow don't damn near throw for 6,000 fucking yards,
he probably does.
He wins the Heisman.
Yeah.
So it's those kind of stories that make you get behind. It tells you get behind the player. Tells you about their character, what kind of person they are, what their morals are, what they stand for, what they believe in. Now it's kind of like murky. Like, yo, I had a fucked up season. Let me go here and have another fucked up season, like DJ Uyunglele. Now he had a great season at Oregon State. Great season on paper. You look at his stats, and then Florida State. Okay,
All right, bro. Now you really tricked yourself out of fucking draft positioning because he's nowhere. I don't see him on anybody's fucking QB draft board.
Undrafted free agent.
UFL. That's what it's looking like at this point.
Yeah. I wouldn't disagree with that. Now, before we move on, do you feel like now, with everything that's going on in the last decade, that there's a stigma against Hawaiian quarterbacks?
No. I mean, maybe in the NFL, not in college. I mean, in college,
that's what I mean in terms of NFL success.
No, hell, well, in NFL success, yes, but in college, no, not without a doubt, no.
Okay.
I don't think so. In college, as long you know, so if you athletic, and I mean, not look at the mold for a good, a good college QB mobility. So you got to be mobile, got to have a strong ass arm. Most of these guys that these colleges, most of the guys that these colleges are going after, they have that.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at every quarterback that's Hawaiian or from that type of descent, they all have similar play styles. They're all mobile. They can throw on the run, but they can improvise. Like I said, it may be a stigma on them in the NFL, but college, hell no, that ain't never going away. Now, speaking of the whole NIL situation, I do believe we touched on this before, but this Nico situation I definitely want to bring this conversation back. Ryan, if you were the NCAA commissioner, or you were in control, or you had to, let's say they put you in charge of everything, if you had to change this NIL situation, what would you do to regulate it or make it to where it's not as murky, it's not as dirty or whatever? But what would you do to kind of level out the playing field?
You have to stay at that school for 2 seasons.
That's fair. That's fair.
That's what I would do. This would slow a lot of this shit down. Cause now niggas are thinking, okay, and now I gotta who's gonna be there next year, who coming in, how can I mesh with this, what system, then now it's like I might as well stay, you know what I'm
Yeah, yeah, that's fair.
saying? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, at least you gotta stay with that school at least 2 years, something, bro. Cause it's like, oh fuck, and it's like the wild, wild fucking west, brother.
Yeah.
Anything and everything is going.
So what I would do is I would make it, and I believe I've said this. There are two ways. There are two ways I could go with this. What I would do is, if you decide you want to jump in the trend, if let's say a school says they're going to pay you so much amount of NIL money. If you decide you want to jump in the transfer portal, we need that back. Then it should be prorated. It should be prorated. So if you decide you want to leave or whatever money that you did, whatever money that was not spent, we want that back. Because you signed to come to this school for a certain period of time. Now you're leaving. So now you owe us money. I would also go back to the old rule, kind of like you said. If you transfer, you got to sit out a year.
No, not sit out a year. You
No, no,
gotta.
no. Well, I would go back
Yeah.
to the old rule, is what I'm saying with the transfer portal. You decide you want to transfer, that's cool. You're gonna sit a year.
Nah.
So that
Bro.
way, no.
Nah.
So that way you and then no, or even better, you get 2 times the transfer. After that second time, you know what? That's exactly what I do. You only get 2 times the transfer. You know what I'm saying? It don't it don't work out the first time. Your freshman year, you had to sit or whatever. You can go ahead and transfer, but after that second time, after what I'm saying, once you decide to that's it. You better make sure you make a good decision wherever you decide to go, because that's gonna
I,
be good for you.
that you could do that, and if your coach gets fired, you can transfer
That too.
again.
Also, I'm putting the age. I'm putting the age limit on this shit. I'm putting the age limit on this shit. 23, 24. That's the cap.
Bro,
That's the cap.
a medical red shirt is a medical red shirt, bro.
See, that's understandable, but if you know what I'm saying, you just choosing to stay in school to get, to get the NIL money, like, bro, but it's other motherfuckers that want opportunities to play. You just are fucking burning up a roster spot.
Hey, brother, if a nigga get hurt and you know what I'm saying, he still got. It was a nigga on Oregon last year. I think that nigga was like 28, still fucking playing. I'm like, God damn.
Then you had the dude on Miami that was there for like 9 years.
Yeah, him too.
Yeah. And
actually, no, yeah, he's the one that transferred from Oregon.
And then on
Miami,
top of that, they're not counting the JUCO time no more.
Wow.
Yeah, you remember that? They said that they're not anybody's JUCO clock or whatever. That shit don't count no more. The JUCO time don't hold the JUCO time against them.
No, look at the fuck at that. That is that's interesting. Damn, Cam Newton still would have bounced.
Oh yeah, for sure.
He still would have bounced. Bye.
For sure. So man, let's move on, man. So I want to look back at the 12-team college football playoff. Like I said, we both agreed that they have some work to do with the format or whatever. But Let's look at the teams that actually made the college football playoff next year. Now, I want you to tell me what teams that you think are going to, like, what teams you think will be back in the college football playoff and what teams you think won't be there. So, the teams that made the college football playoff last year: Oregon, number 1, Oregon; number 2, Georgia; number 3, Boise State; number 4, Arizona State; number 5, Texas; number 6, Penn State; number 7, Notre Dame; number 8, Ohio State; number 9, Tennessee; number 10, Indiana; number 11, SMU; and number 12, Clemson. Now, out of these schools, what teams do you think won't be? What teams do you think we won't see in the college football playoff next year?
Boise State, SMU, Indiana. I don't know Georgia's quarterback situation, but every time you count them out, it's when them motherfuckers do something. Yeah, that's probably about it. Because all the other schools are those top heavy schools that spend the money. Maybe you could throw in Clemson too, because Dabo don't like transfer portal. It's like, nigga, are you not? Are you in 2025?
Bro, this shit is hot right now. You gotta get what the getting is good.
I mean, you don't have a choice, brother. I think last year they brought in 2 transfer players.
Yeah, yeah, and they did still make the college football playoff though.
That is true, but
and ain't Klubnik coming back? Klubnik, however the hell you say his name?
Yeah, Klubnik, yeah, Klublak. I don't know. Klubnik,
Click
yeah,
clack.
yeah, he's coming back. So okay. So yeah, top heavy teams like Texas, like Ohio State, like Georgia. You might even want to LSU might make it this year, depending on how it shakes
No,
out.
hold on, no. We gonna talk about that in a minute. Hold off on that one.
Notre Dame, Penn State, Oregon, all the top heavy schools spend the money. Yeah, they'll probably make it, and then niggas might sneak in like Oklahoma or somebody like that. Yeah.
So for me, I don't see Boise making it next year. I don't see Arizona State making it next year. I definitely don't see SMU or Indiana making it next year. And I mean, now with the Nico situation, I don't see Tennessee making it next year. I mean, do I just don't. They got their whole plan or whatever y'all had to look forward to as a Volunteers fan. You might as well hang. You better make plans for not this season, next season, because
I
they'll be
got
competitive.
I got faith in Heupel. I got faith in Heupel.
Yeah, I think they'll be a ranked team, but I don't think they're gonna make the college football playoff.
Yeah, it's kind of right now. It's kind of fucked up to see and have an idea. I mean, cause like while Nico doing this shit, Tennessee is damn sure the name is mentioned of who gonna make it again next year. So especially then they announced that sophomore year. Now this motherfucker got to learn a whole new offense.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like I said, if you're a Volunteers fan, I feel bad for you. I really feel bad for you. But you know what I'm saying? Y'all talk. But at the same point in time, I don't, because y'all talked about Oklahoma and the Oklahoma came to the SEC the first year and got we had a whole bunch of fucking problems going on. So whatever excuses y'all got for next year, I ain't trying to hear. I'm not trying to hear.
Now I could say, oh, well, name me a team that had 1 through 5 wide receivers hurting a different offensive line combination. And then a motherfucker who hasn't caught an offense in Denver 20 years coaching. But then I could just be like, what? All that was on Brent.
Yep, that's fair.
All right, next.
So give me some teams that you think will actually surprise everybody and actually make the 12-team college football playoff next year.
Ole Miss, LSU, maybe Michigan. Miami, maybe. But they got to pretty much just go undefeated or go undefeated.
You do got to pick a Big 12 school though. If you're out of all the Big 12 schools, who would you pick?
I mean, right now, yeah, I would say Colorado, but I don't trust that defense still. So, it's not like he got Lincoln Riley calling plays. It's not like it's 2018, 17 again, 15 again.
That's fair. So for me, I'm taking LSU, Oklahoma. I'm really high.
I gotta see it. I gotta see it.
That's
I gotta
fair.
see it, nigga.
I'm really high. I'm gonna take. Give me Utah. Give me. I think Utah. I think Utah might be in the next
Is
year.
that motherfucker coming back?
Cam Rising, I think he is coming back, and that's why I say
He's
give
a
me Utah.
7-year fucking senior, bro.
Well, he did get hurt last year,
He
but
got hurt 2 years ago too.
yeah, give me LSU, Texas A&M. I'm gonna go Utah, Oklahoma. The last this. You know what? And you might curl your fucking nose up at me, but I think even I know you're not a big fan of him, but I do think Carson Beck can get them to the college football playoff. No. I'm sorry, Bama. I think Bama gets in next year.
I don't know who's playing quarterback.
They got. I mean, I think Ty Simpson is going to be the starter, but they do got a nice little five. They do got a nice 5-star in Keelan Russell. So I do think they're going to be real nice next year.
Okay, well, I mean, shit, hey, I guess we'll just have to see.
Now, who are some teams that you're actually looking forward to seeing? Like some teams that you think. Give me like 4 or 5 teams that you think are going to make. They're going to be way better than they were last year. And why do you think that?
Michigan, because looks like their quarterback can throw the ball. That's one. Will be better next year. Texas, they might be fucking around number 1 because I think they got a quarterback that can throw the ball. Penn State, because they just got the last defensive coordinator that won a national championship.
Don't know.
And then their defense wasn't too bad at all. Oregon, because I like that motherfucker. He was a 5-star that transferred from UCLA.
Dante Moore, yes.
And I think within that system that they run at Oregon, he can probably do some of the shit you thought he was gonna do at UCLA. And I'm not sure yet, but I want to throw Ohio State in there because you got a lot of freshmen,
You
that's
think they're
coming
gonna
up
be
there.
better?
Yeah.
Damn. Oh, okay then.
It's possible. It's very much possible. Very much so. Because I mean, shit, they had Dwayne Haskins. He thought, are they gonna be better? And then fucking Justin Fields transferred over there, and they're like, damn, they could win it all. You know what I'm saying? They could win it all. So, but I just thought about the defensive coordinator leaving. That's fucked up. But yeah, I mean, it's Ohio State. Yeah, they've had plenty of monster defenses where he got there.
So the entire time I was super high on Florida, but I'm off that train. Like I with Lagway getting hurt, and then I don't know who the fuck is playing wide receiver for them. I'm sorry, I can't. No.
Tim, this is the thing though with Florida. They fired Dan Mullen, a motherfucker that consistently had you winning 10 games.
Yep.
You fired Dan Mullen for this motherfucker, and then now it's like,
Like, all right, we'll see what
okay.
happens. But if I had to give you a couple teams that I think is going to be a lot better next year, It hurts me to say this because they did beat the shit out of us in the college football playoff, and they stole some players of ours. But LSU, I do think LSU is going to be substantially better. I love the additions of and I'm putting my Sooner, my Sooner fandom aside here, but I do love the additions of Nick Anderson and Bauer Sharp, and they do got a nice did get a nice QB in Michael Van Buren. And I love the edge rusher addition for Patrick Payton from Florida State. Dude was an absolute baller last year.
Mm-hmm.
I also got to go with Texas A&M. Them getting. I'm really high on Marcel Reed. I'm really high on Marcel Reed, and them getting him, a certified number 1 in Kevin Concepcion on the outside next year, and then them getting edge rusher Samuel Mpemba from Georgia. I am high on Texas A&M because I did like what they was able to do last year. What I do like what Marcel Reed was able to do at the end of last year, coming into a fucked up situation. And I am gonna go Florida State because I don't know what the fuck that was last year. Like DJ, they fell off a cliff at the very beginning of the fucking season. Thomas Castellanos out of Boston College, he was a He looked pretty good last year. Wasn't a Heisman candidate or anything like that, but he played exceptionally well. And then they get Deuce Robinson from USC. So yeah, I think Florida State's going to be good. And I am going to put my Sooner, my Sooner fandom back into this conversation. And I think Oklahoma is going to be exceptionally well next year. I think Oklahoma is going to be exceptionally well last year. Don't let this first year in the SEC fool y'all. I think Oklahoma has done everything it's needed to do in the offseason to be a contender next year.
I got a lot of questions with that, but we'll talk about that another day.
That's fair. That's fair. I'm not mad at that. So with the top 25 last year, we're not gonna get too deep off into it, but with the top 25 last year, we had Ohio State at number 1, Notre Dame at number 2, Oregon at number 3, Texas at number 4, Penn State at number 5, Georgia at number 6, Arizona State at 7, Boise State at 8, Tennessee at 9, Indiana at 10, Ole Miss at 11, SMU at 12, BYU at 13, Clemson at 14, Iowa State at 15, Illinois at 16, 17 is Alabama, 18 is Miami, 19 is South Carolina, 20 is Syracuse, 21st is Army, 22nd is Missouri, 23 is UNLV, 24 is Memphis, and 25 is Colorado. Now, who do you think will be in the top? What if there's one team that jumps out to you that like was in the top 25 last year, who do you think will not be in the next year? If you had to pick like 3 teams that when you look at it, I just don't see them. I don't see them sticking around the top 25 next year.
Indiana, Colorado. Well, I mean, how you gonna pick them to win the Big 12 and say that? I just don't. From what they sharing on social media and YouTube, if you follow What Off Media and the other stuff, I'm like, all right, nigga. But I mean, all coaches go through shit like that, so it's nothing. If you play football, you've been in scenarios like that. But Indiana, Boise State, and maybe Tennessee. I don't know.
That's fair.
I
That's
don't
fair.
know. I don't know. I'm just shooting the shit right now.
I'm going Indiana. I'm gonna go UNLV, and I'm going to go. Damn, because I don't want to be. I'm gonna go Syracuse because I didn't expect them to be in the fucking top 25 last year anyway.
I mean, they had an experienced quarterback. That was like his third fucking team. So
Yeah. All right, so Ryan, I want you to give me 4 players that you think are gonna have breakout years next year. Like who do you think is going to be breakout, like your breakout players next year? Who you think gonna be the players to watch that you feel like nobody was really paying attention to last year? Or like that you think are coming into good situations? Could be QBs, wide receivers, anybody.
coming into good situations. Archie, he finally got the keys to that thing, baby. It's time to go make it shake. Uh Carson Beck, because he's not gonna have to. I feel like, well, I don't know, because if you watched Miami last year, they a lot of reason why they won because they had a quarterback that made plays.
Yeah, that's true.
So I mean, maybe we'll get to see some glimpses of that. Can you make plays? But I'm gonna pick Carson Beck because the level of competition isn't as stiff as the SEC, and I'm not sitting here and saying the ACC is garbage, but I'm just saying,
It's just not as stiff.
you know what I'm saying, the level of competition is a lot different. Um, I don't see no sophomore slump for Smith at Ohio State. I think if he has a quarterback that can get him the ball, and I mean, hell, Chip Kelly called a play. You see that? You see what I'm saying? Now there's a thing. You never seen it in the NFL, but like, name me a school that has won with their head coach being the play caller, like on offense.
Won the national championship?
Yes.
I can't. Not right off the top of my head.
I think Steve Spurrier called a play for Florida.
I thought that was Napier. No, I'm tripping. I'm tripping. I'm tripping. That wasn't Napier when they won it.
Uh,
Was it Urban Meyer?
fuck no.
Yeah,
That motherfucker stopped calling plays at Ohio when he was at Ohio, not Ohio State, Ohio. Shit, I can't think of it right now, but yeah, you know what I'm saying. As soon as Ryan Day stepped down from calling plays, they won. Um, Another player who's gonna be better than he was, or gonna be having a nicer year. Mm. Shit, that's all I can come up with right now, man. It's been a long day for me.
you fine, brother. You fine.
Um, who you got? You know, you got some shit.
I definitely got a few. So I'm going, as I mentioned before, I'm definitely going Marcel Reed. I really liked what he was able to do last. He looked really good coming into the situation with Texas A&M last year. And, them getting him a certified number one wide receiver on the outside. I think he's gonna. I think and his ability to scramble and make plays, being able to improvise. I do think he's gonna have a great year. I'm not saying Heisman worthy or nothing like that. I do like Aaron Nolan a lot going down to South Carolina simply because of what we saw that was it Spencer Rattler, what we saw he was able to do. And I think Aaron Nolan is, just as good of a player, if not better than what Spencer Rattler was. And I got to, even though he had a great year last year, I got to go with Mateer, man. And this is not me just being a Oklahoma fan,
Man, all right, now I gotta interject. Look, nigga, he's playing. He basically was playing the Mountain West schedule. That's basically what that was.
bruh. He's playing a Mountain West. Look, Ryan. Let me explain something to you. Playing in the Mountain West, he brought his offensive coordinator with him to a new team with more talent, and they just got another fucking running back. Okay, another highly sought after running back in the transfer portal. There is no way that this man could fall off a cliff like that. I really don't think so. Look, I keep saying this all the time. Look at what Cam Ward was able to do when he was fucking with Washington State with the offensive coordinator he had. And then look at what he went to Miami and did. Now, granted, I'm not saying Mateer, possesses the same skill set as Cam Ward, but I do think he can. I do think that same what he was able to do at Washington State. I do think that's going to transfer over to Oklahoma as long as he's healthy and as long as we have offensive line, which I think we will. I know you, but
Hold
go
on.
ahead.
It all starts with the offensive line. If we have a good offensive line, I'm leave it there, man.
As long as we got an offensive, even if the offensive line is like, if we could just have two people start most of the season, I think we're gonna be okay. We had what, like 5 or 6 different offensive line combinations throughout the season last year.
No, damn near every single game, Tim.
It was
Damn
like that.
near every single game. I think it was like maybe 1, 2 games. Well, no, every game. We had a different offensive line combination, brother. Hell, we was hurt at offensive line for the season even started.
Yeah, that's true.
We
That's true.
was
And
hurt
then
at wide receiver for the season even started. I'm like, oh, but that hold on. All that told me was them niggas was going hard.
yeah, yeah.
They was not scared of going to. They wanted to show motherfuckers, okay, we in the SEC, and
And guess what? We did beat Big Bad Bama now, though. I think that was the highlight of the season.
Big Back Bama had a shitty ass quarterback.
That's fair too. That's fair too. That's fair too.
And I
Now,
like Jalen Milroe. I do.
I've said this time and time again. Jalen Milroe is like a more athletic version of Jalen Hurts. That's literally what he is. He's Jalen Hurts with quick twitch.
We would that's fine. That's fair. He's a more athletic. But like Jalen Hurts, even though we talked all that shit about him, especially at Bama and at OU, in his first year in the NFL with throwing, he still made key throws that made you be like, okay, he can be an NFL quarterback with the right training and the right coaches that are around him. He could be an NFL quarterback. With Miro, he's been doing that his whole life.
All right, now before we go ahead, my bad, bro. Go ahead.
No, you got it. You got it.
So before we get out of here, bro, let's talk some draft shit, shall we?
Okay.
All right. So obviously by the time this episode drops, the draft will probably be the current week that we're gonna be in. If you had to make a couple crazy draft predictions, bro, what would you say? It don't gotta be nothing like outlandish or nothing, but if you had to predict some things that are gonna go on in the draft, what would you predict?
Shit.
Not the obvious, because we all know more than likely Travis is going to.
Shit. Cam goes number 1, Travis number 2, Shador number 3.
Them your picks?
Yeah.
So I think, you know how the last couple years we haven't seen like a running back go until late in the draft, or like
most drafts it's a decent amount of running backs that can at least catch.
Yeah. I think this year, we see 4 running backs taken in the first round. I do. No, I take that back. I think we see 4 running backs taken in the first round.
So he going Juckins.
I'm going Henderson. I'm going Amarion Hampton. I'm going Genty. And yeah, I'm gonna go Juckins. Yep.
Genty gonna be if he's first round, it's late. Damn near second round. I feel like
that's fair. I'm not mad at that. I mean, I also think that I don't know, man. Maybe I'm getting a little too hopeful, but I'm not even gonna say I think, but I hope the Saints go ahead and take Jackson Dart so we can go ahead and get Shador Sanders. Hey, New Orleans, I ain't never asked y'all for anything. Go ahead and pass up on Shador.
They be dumb.
But I do feel, to be quite honest, if I'm being totally honest, I don't see Shador getting past the 10th pick. I don't.
I'm just like, I don't understand how somebody's draft stock can drop that tremendously within the span of 3-4 months.
Just shitty media coverage.
I'm like, yeah, y'all just don't like him because his dad is Dion.
That's all it is. It's a personal vendetta.
Because December and January, he's a top 5 pick for sure. He's locked. You know, he has an NFL arm, and now all of a sudden he can't throw. Don't wait till, like what Dion said. And I was saying that shit when they started saying it. I'm like, y'all gonna wait till this nigga done playing, can't play no more to start saying that shit. But we're not gonna talk about when that nigga was skinnier at Jackson State and he was slinging that motherfucker and running.
Mm-hmm.
Slinging that
and another thing is, Shador's patting the ball. Every fucking quarterback does it. Patrick Mahomes does it. Brady did it throughout the course of his fucking career.
You know when they pat the ball? When nobody's open.
Yep.
When nobody's fucking open, and when they trying to see what the fuck the defensive line is doing so they get out of the way and reposition themselves.
Some of y'all favorite QBs will pat the ball like if they're trying to find a wide receiver, you'll see them pat the ball 3 or 4 or 5 fucking times before they throw it. So what the fuck does that got to do with anything? I've said it, and I'm gonna keep saying it. Shador has shown so much talent, and the man had such a great fucking pro day that y'all had to start nitpicking about him patting the fucking ball to try to diminish where he's getting drafted. Get the fuck out of here. Nobody trying to hear that shit.
I've never seen that before.
I haven't.
Now they'll wait. I've seen where they'll wait till like 2 weeks before the week of, they'll start saying some bullshit about a player, but I've never seen for like 4 months, and then how they was talking about him during the season, last football season, but
it's some bullshit. It's
some shady shit going on. Shaky shit, boy, yeah.
Yeah, but I tell you right now, man, I'm so ready to just get to. I can't wait to get to the draft because I'm so tired of these mock drafts and. Well, my sources tell me you don't have no fucking sources. Shut up.
What your homie told you. That's GM and wherever.
That ain't even your homie. That's the fucking fake ass ball boy that's posing as posing as an insider. Well, I have inside information. No, the fuck you don't. They throw their jock straps at you and throw you in a fucking laundry basket.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
That's
fucked up.
that's probably what the fuck going on. You inside. You're the fucking water boy. The fuck inside. What insider do you have? They're coming out with a new flavor of fucking Gatorade this year. Shut your ass up.
Man, they don't need no more flavors of Gatorade, man. A lot of that shit is nasty.
And they won't even call. Let's be honest. We won't even call them by the flavors no more. We call them by the colors.
Yeah.
Give me a blue Gatorade.
Give me that pink one.
Give me the red one, pink one.
Me,
Hold on. We got a pink Gatorade.
yeah, man.
Oh, strawberry. You're right.
Watermelon, got a couple of them. Then the orange one, of course. Then maybe the purple one if it don't taste like fucking medicine.
Orange is literally the only one that's named that has the flavor name is literally the color. It's orange. It ain't it's not tangerine, not nectarine, it's orange.
Or the lime or the lime one. The lime one. I feel like you taste the Gatorade more than the lime one. All right, let's get back. Let's get
That's pretty much everything I wanted to cover, man. What did you have anything you wanted to cover with the everything that's going on in the college football world?
I mean, to be honest with you, bro, we are shaking up for another season of we don't know what the fuck. Like, we have an idea, but honestly, as long as it's not Texas winning, I'm okay.
You know, bro, I was really looking at like where everybody went, who lost who, who went where or whatever. Even with all the teams that I think are going to be good, this is honestly the year where I don't know. I'm serious, bro. I don't know what the fuck is gonna happen.
Second year in a row.
The second it is, but it ain't. Like I kind of knew. I knew Georgia was gonna be what they was. I knew Texas was gonna be what they was. I knew Ohio State was gonna be what they was. This year, I'm not so sure because Ohio State. We still don't. I mean, we know who their quarterback is, but we don't know much about him.
I mean, I didn't see Oregon doing that. I thought Oregon was going to take a loss like they did in the regular season. Because, like, when they beat Ohio State, it's about a point.
Yeah.
And then they didn't really. But then, like, after they played Boise, and then it's like, oh, okay. They got a program up there. They wasn't finna show all them plays, and then I don't really think Dylan Gabriel was capable of doing more. So, I mean, but hats off to him. I think he'll be a sleeper player in the draft if he goes to a well-established organization.
If he got some time to sit and learn.
Yeah. But I mean, let's be for real. Left-hand quarterbacks in the NFL. Now, unless you're Michael Vick.
You're very few and far in between. And we all know he is not as athletic as Michael Vick. And he don't have a gun like Michael Vick. I was actually watching some of his fucking NFL highlights today, bro. It was so nostalgic. Because Vick was just so smooth with it, bro. He was just when he take off, he was just he was gliding out there.
It's like he was made to do that, bro. And then when he came back with the Eagles and then started getting some of that, yeah, he wasn't as fast. He was getting caught a tad bit more with the Eagles. But damn, bro, to see him just get out in the open field and be able to do that, or to be able to extend the play and catch somebody downfield on a rope, and they didn't have to break stride, yeah, bro. I mean, like, the closest thing we got to that is Lamar, but Lamar don't throw that motherfucker like Vic did.
He can, but he doesn't. That's the and keep in mind, this was back then when it was more of a running league back then. It wasn't a passing league like it is now.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like I said, don't take it as we saying Lamar can't throw, because that's definitely not what we saying.
He should have won MVP last year.
He should have. That shit still pisses me off. Like, bro, that was the most gimme ass fucking man. Just take it, bro. Just her.
Oh, you couldn't you beat that one nigga we don't like, but you couldn't lose to the other nigga we do kind of like. So shit, here, man, we're gonna take it.
Here, just take it. Don't say I ain't never done nothing for you. That's what that is. That's what that was the don't say I ain't never done nothing for you award.
He said won MVP. Now, when we watched that Football Life of Josh Allen, I'm like, that's a bullshit ass MVP he got. Motherfucker, he shouldn't have got that.
That MVP got an asterisk on it. Well,
Shit.
not on paper,
The-
not on
the-
paper, but yeah, the MVP got an asterisk on it.
depending on who you ask.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I will take that. I would take that. Ryan, we're creeping up on the dark days, man. Is the dark days are among us. I'm not looking forward.
I'm trying to get you niggas to go to some fucking Battlehawks games, but fuck
I
it, man.
no, I want to go. I definitely want to go. Just my schedule got to line up, bro. You gotta keep in mind. I
So
got
May, that's why I said May 2nd. That's why I'm like, all right, let's plan something ahead of time. That's
yeah.
why I said May 2nd, motherfuckers.
Let me make sure I ain't got nothing going on with the T-ball team or whatever, and then we should be able to go. I know the first game is May 3rd. So, because I want to squeeze, I want to try to.
We got that 7 o'clock game.
Well, no, it's for no. The first game is 4:30, May 3rd
Okay.
at 4:30. As long as it don't rain. But knowing, I just hope because so when I used to coach my brother's team, I don't know what happened. I don't know how this shit will line up, but every fucking year on opening day for ABC, it would always rain.
Same thing with the Cardinals.
Never
Same thing
failed.
with the Cardinals.
Always fucking rain. So I'm like, we'll see, man. But no, I definitely if I can't make the May 2nd one, I'm definitely down to go to a different one.
Yeah, man, because like I know I'm off on Fridays and shit now, so it's gonna be like that to probably about August. And we'll see August, but so yeah, it's a little bit more stability there. So
Yes,
we
sir.
can do shit now, fucker. Come on.
Hey, I'm with it, man. I'm with it. We gonna make it happen.
Yes, sir, ski.
But anyway, man, that's gonna be it for this week's episode. As always, we thank y'all for tuning in. Make sure y'all like, share, subscribe, comment. Let us know what we're doing well. We looking forward to another great season. We got some good interviews coming up, man, and we're gonna work on make sure we're dropping this dope, beautiful content for y'all, dog.
Yes, sir.
And as always, man. Go ahead, Ryan. I'm sorry.
And remember, wash your ass, bitch.
Be safe, drink safe, and stay y'all ass out of trouble.
Motherfucker.